Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Sreetips here, and I've got this little button of 14K white gold, and what I'm gonna do is try to melt it in this crucible and pour it into a little bar. I've been using this melt dish, called it a crucible earlier. I've been using this melt dish for about a year now, over and over. If you look down here, you'll see it's getting some pitting going on in here. And I think it's time to retire this thing and use it for encoding gold maybe. I've scraped some of the little gold balls down into the bottom of the melt dish. You can see them right there. And what I'm gonna do now is I save these. So we're gonna take our little jar of these gold balls that I've scraped off before from these dishes, and I use a funnel here, and we're going to pour these little gold balls down into this jar here. Let's see if we can do this properly. Boom, boom, there we go. Now we've got our little collection of gold balls down in our jar. My last video, I alloyed 5 grams of palladium with 7 grams of pure gold to make this white gold button here. And someone had asked about the palladium melt temperature being so much higher than the gold temperature. Why didn't the gold boil off and leave the melt dish? And some of it does do that when I get the gold real hot. If you look in here, this pink color on the inside of this melt dish is nanoparticles of pure gold that have condensed up on the upper surfaces of the melt dish that is cooler than the hot spot down here in the middle where I'm doing the melt. You can see in here when I just melt pure gold in this melt dish that some of the gold that I'm melting down here that I've refined actually kind of vaporizes off, and then it condenses around the inside of the melt dish as these tiny gold balls. And what we do with these, let's see if I can pull one off here and try to demonstrate. What we try to do with these, you just kind of scrape them off the wall of the melt dish and save them. But this particular melt dish is getting too old. It's time to retire this thing. And but we're going to use this to melt the white gold 14K white gold button and pour a 14K white gold bar. This piece of gold was created by adding 7 grams of pure gold and 5 grams of pure palladium together to create a white gold alloy 14K. I'll post a link to that video in the description of this video. And here I'm using the flame to force the little balls that are stuck to the sides of the melt dish down into the melting of the white gold to increase the weight of that white gold by just a little bit. Those little gold balls were forced down into the white gold and alloyed with it, so that now we have a little bit more gold than when we started. Here's our little bar of white gold that we just melted in the crucible out there. And it's got a little bit of that black spot right there on it. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of flux. So I have to try to get that off of there. Let's see what the weight is on this thing. 0. Okay, so we picked up 0.1 of a gram, probably from the little gold balls that were left in the melt dish. I tried to force them down into the center of the dish as I was doing this melt. The little gold balls that were condensed on the upper cooler part of the dish, I forced them down into the bottom of the dish where the gold melt was taking place, and I think some of that gold alloyed with our 14K bar here, so we got a little bit more gold in there than when we started. I'm going to use a second scale here to get a weight on this little bar, verify the weight on a separate scale. 12.1. So we did in fact pick up 1/10 of a gram, but I've got a problem here on this side right here. It's got like a real sharp edge right there that can cut you, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. Right here, this little raised area right here is a very sharp little piece that's poking up, and there's another one right there. And so I'm gonna have to hit this quickly with a little grinder, see if I can get that off of there. All right, that should do it. Yeah, that's gone. I got that little edge off of there. It's not sharp anymore. Let's just check our weight again. Still 12.1. All right, wouldn't you know it? It's something else. It's not flux. That's down into the metal. I don't know what that is. I guess we're gonna have to try to chip it out of here and see if I can get something to... All right, never fails. Whenever we're trying to do something like this, something always ends up going wrong. I'm gonna hit it with a punch here, see if we can, if it's brittle, it'll break out of there. Let's see what happens here. That might be an old diamond or something in there, man. Looks like a diamond. Should be able to break that thing and get it out of there. Oh, it's loose. I got it. That is a diamond. A hard one. I got it out of there. It's loose. Let's see if we can pull it out and take a look at it here. There it is. Look at that. That thing was in there. But at least I got it out. Here's our little diamond that was stuck in the top of that bar. And let's see if that altered the weight on this thing. No, it did not. We still have 12.1 grams of 14K white gold. Here's an update on the silver cell. And we've got, we're putting pure silver crystal back through the cell for a second time. Let's look down in here and see what we got going on. Well, first of all, you've seen the voltage up there, the amps. It's 1.2, 1.1. Now we're gonna kind of jam this down in here. And it's been running like this, in this condition right here, for about an hour and a half. And now that we've got the silver pressed down in the bottom of the anode basket, our amps have jumped up to 4.6 amps. This is, let's see, what is it, Wednesday? I started this thing on last Friday. And so that's about 4 or 5 days worth of growth in the electrolytic silver cell. Man, it looks beautiful. Look at that stuff, man. It's just really, it looks like diamonds in there. I think this is about 120 hours worth of growth in the silver cell. Ambient temperature is pretty high around here right now. It's about 95 degrees ambient temperature. And the cell is evaporating off the electrolyte down here. You can see that the some of the silver over on this side over here, it looks like you can see it's up out of the electrolyte. So I've got some more electrolyte. I'm going to add this right on in. And now we'll stir this up. There we go. We're just going to continue to let this grow until we get all the pure silver crystal dissolved in our electrolytic silver cell. So now what I'll do is I'll take this down to the jeweler and get it all buffed up and polished up and make it look real nice. Here's the little stone that was embedded in that thing, man. I thought it was flux, but it's a diamond or something. Once I get this bar buffed up and polished up, take it back to my shop and we'll stamp it up with sreetips and 14K. And we're going to offer it for sale on my eBay site. However, if you are interested in getting this bar from me, then what you can do is contact me through my PayPal donation site, and I'll take the bar down off my eBay site and sell it to you directly. And that way we don't have to pay all those fees that eBay charges. The ask price on it is going to be $1,400. Price set by Mrs. Sreetips. Here's our little white gold 14K white gold bar. And I wanted to set it alongside of these rings so that you can see the difference in the color. These are 14K white gold rings right here. And you can see that they've got a little bit of a yellow tint to them. And contrast that with the white gold that I alloyed with palladium. There's no hint of white whatsoever in my little bar here. Proper weight on this. 12.1 grams of 14K white gold. 7 grams of pure gold alloyed with 5 grams of palladium. And we'll offer this thing for sale on the eBay site. And if you don't like that, you can contact me through my PayPal donation site. And we'll set something up where you can buy it and avoid having to pay all those fees that eBay charges. Okay, this will conclude the video. Thanks for watching.